Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do your makeup like a pro. I do take a lot of pride in the way I do my makeup and I get a lot of compliments when I do it this way, and people always ask me how does it look so flawless, airbrushed and perfect even after a couple of hours. So I'm gonna show you the techniques and how I do my makeup, and I just wanted to share it with you guys because we don't gatekeep over here. So I'm going to be showing you all the products, tips and tricks what I do keep my makeup looking flawless. So first things first, before we get into foundation, you always want to do your skincare. I just did mine off camera because I like to let the skincare just sink into my face before starting the makeup for like 15-20 minutes. I just use the Cosrx Snail Mucin and FAE Beauty's moisturizer. I think it's called Daily Drip or Daily Dip something. So yeah, let's just get into foundation. For foundation, I'm going to be using my favorite foundation. It never fails me. I'm going to be using the Nars Natural Radiant Longwear. Nars complexion products never fail me. So when I don't want to experiment with anything, it's always the Nars foundation that I use. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm just going to be taking a couple of pumps on my hand. I usually do like 3 to 4 initially. I like to do my foundation with a foundation brush. I'm just using this rounded top kabuki brush and just going to be patting it into my skin. I use pressing motions first to just spread all the foundation and product all over my face, and then I usually go in with like a swiping motion. You can see it's just covering everything so beautifully. Also, I'm using a very light hand. I'm not like pressing it. I'm just going lightly over because you don't want to leave any streaks on your face. I usually just go back in with the foundation and add more on my forehead and generally in areas where I see I need more coverage, because you can see here some of my pimple marks are still like peeking through. Just going back on my forehead. I'm just dabbing some on the places where I can see my marks peeking through. Now with whatever product is left on my brush, I'm just going to run it through my eyes just to give it like a base. Also, you would have noticed I didn't use any primer. I tend to not use primer most of the time, but usually if I do, it's the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I really like this stuff. It's kind of a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip. Once I'm done with foundation, I usually go in with a cream or liquid contour. So for that, I'm going to be using this Sheglam bronzer. This is in the shade Warm Honey. I love this applicator. It's a little sponge tip applicator. So I'm just going to put a couple of dots all over my face. Some on the forehead for nose contour, so I'm just going to draw an 11. I'm just using this domed brush. It's more of a densely packed one. It just keeps the product in place. Again, you don't want to use wiping motions. You just want to tap it into the skin. You don't want to drag the product down. You want to keep it upwards from your cheekbones. Push it into the hairline so that it gives a seamless look. Push it nicely into the hairline. I'm just going to be blending out the nose contour now with the angle brush. So I'm just taking this, blending out the product that we placed there. Now I'm going to be doing my liquid blush. I'm using the Nars liquid blush in the shade Orgasm. You will notice that I do liquid and powder steps for almost everything because I just love the way it kind of looks and adds dimension into the face. I'm just taking a couple of pumps on the back of my hand. These are all Makeup by Ariel X Morphe brushes. So I'm just taking this brush. I think it's their blush brush if I'm not wrong, but it's the A58. I love this for blush, for liquid blush. Taking the liquid blush that's on the back of my hand, pressing it into brush and lightly tapping it on my cheeks. I'm just placing it above the bronzer and I'm taking it slightly up to my temples as well because I feel that just gives it like such a nice seamless look. Then doing the same on the other side. Just take your time, do tapping motions, don't swipe because you don't want to lift the product that's underneath this already. So you just want to layer really nicely. Before, I never actually used to like blush that much, but now I can't see myself without it. It just brings the whole look together. After blush, I like to do my concealer. I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. I first do it under my eyes. Just a little on the inner corner and a little on the outer corner. Same on the other side. And to lip. Putting some on my nose. Now that you look like a crazy person, you just let it sit for a few minutes. Don't blend it out immediately. You want to let it sit on your skin for a couple of minutes just so that it dries a little and you get the maximum coverage out of the concealer without adding more and more layers. I usually blend out the forehead and then this region first. I'm just using a damp beauty blender for this. I don't know if it's just me, but the black beauty blender is just built different. It just works so much better than any of the other beauty blenders. So when you're blending out nose contour, you want to pinch your beauty blender so that you kind of get a small region of the sponge. Blend the contour right in place, pressing it in the same place. And now we're blending out the eyes. When you're blending, make sure to blend down the sides of your nose as well to kind of mesh the nose contour and the concealer so that everything looks seamless. And this way it also blends into the blush. Just look up when you're blending out your concealer because you want to avoid creases as much as you can. Again, everyone has creases, so you can't make them disappear with just makeup. So don't worry about it. Okay, once we're done blending out the concealer, we are going to set our face before everything settles into the lines. Using Huda Beauty Easy Bake in the shade Banana Bread. So I always like to set my under eyes first because that's the place that creases first, so you want to eliminate the creases as fast as possible and set them into place. I'm just going to look up and I'm just taking another damp beauty sponge and pressing it into the powder, looking up and just setting. Do the same on the other side. So now I just take a fluffy brush and then just dip it into the powder and set the rest of my face. I don't bake. I just set everywhere except where I put my cream contour and my cream blush. So I'm just lightly setting. So I'm just setting kind of everywhere. Okay, after I've put my powder, I like to go in with some setting spray or any makeup spray. I'm using the Skindinavia makeup finishing spray and just spraying my face just so that the powder kind of melts into my skin and it doesn't look powdery and cakey. Once the spray is dried down, I'm just going to be taking some powder bronzer and then going over the cream bronzer with it. I'm just taking a fluffy brush. I'm using MAC Mineralise Skinfinish in the shade Give Me Some. This is my absolute favorite bronzer. I'm just tapping it onto. This way we're setting the bronzer into place without using setting powder, so we're using less layers. And we're doing the same for nose contour, pressing some product onto. Before you put your bronzer down, just take a small blending brush and dip it into the bronzer and just blend it out in your crease. Connecting it to your nose contour, just blend it out in the crease so that everything looks seamless and everything has the same tone. Take your bronzer into the eyebrow, everything will look so seamless. For the eyeshadow look, I'm going to be doing a super simple look that will go with almost anything you wear. You can use a palette that has any brown eyeshadows that you like. I'm just using the Jaclyn x Morphe Divine Neutrals palette. I'm going into the shade Good Vibes with a small fluffy blending brush and just going into my crease. I'm mainly focusing the product on the outer crease rather than the inner because that's where I want to add more dimension. So I like to drag out my eyeshadow because it gives like that lifted cat eye effect. So I'm just slowly dragging the product outwards. So I'm just taking another small fluffy blending brush and I'm going into the shade Boo Bear and Cinnamon Roll and just putting a little on the outer corner to add a little more dimension. You want to take your time blending because that's what makes a makeup look seamless. So once I've added the darker color, I usually just go in with the same blending brush that I used for my crease and just blend both of them together. Kind of mesh the shadows together. Now I'm taking the shade Chic Happens on a flat shader brush and I'm just kind of carving out my crease using this eyeshadow because it's to kind of open out my eyelid. I'm just going in with the shade Good Vibe, taking a small shader brush, going on my lower lash line. So this is the eyeshadow look complete. It's super simple. It's just like 3 eyeshadow shades. This is basically like the soft glam. I just love how this looks. It looks so effortless and glam and chic. Now I'm just going in with some mascara. First, I'm going to curl my lashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just a couple of times on both sides. Give it a nice curl. I'm using the MAC Stack Mascara. I love this mascara. It just wears so beautifully. I wish it wasn't waterproof though, because they're literally a pain to take off. My lashes just look so amazing with this mascara. I love it. The formula and the wand is just so nice. My lashes are long but kind of scanty, but my lower lashes, there is so much drama in my lower lashes, so I'm just going to be adding lower lash mascara as well, using whatever's left. So this is what it looks like with just mascara. Again, you can just leave it here. I'm just going to do some liner and lashes off camera and be right back. Obviously, I recommend doing your mascara after liner, but I just wanted to show you how it looks without eyeliner and lashes. So yeah, I'll just be right back. Okay, I just added some liner and lashes. We're almost done with this look. One trick I love to do when I've done a winged eyeliner is I just take a flat shader brush and just take a little bit of concealer and clean up all the eyeshadow that's beyond the wing, and I just clean up the edge, take my finger and kind of blend it out and just set it with a little bit of powder. It's such a small step, but it makes such a huge difference and just makes your eyeshadow look so clean and professional. I'm just taking a powder puff with a little bit of powder and setting it in place. I'm just taking a black eyeliner and adding it into my waterline. I'm just taking it halfway or 2/3 into my eye because I just love how it looks when there's a little bit of white space. It doesn't shut off my eye completely. Also, if you're wearing lashes or eyeliner, always tight line because then it looks even more seamless. So now we're doing powder blush. I usually like to do blush after my eyeshadow so that I know how much I need to use to kind of balance out the look. I love the Ariel brushes. I'm just taking his blush brush from his Morphe collection, tapping it slightly into the blush. I'm just using this K-Beauty blush in the shade Sweet Salmon. This is a very like bright pink blush and it looks so pretty. And with whatever's remaining, I just kind of bring it closer to the under eye to give it a nice blend. Same on this side. Now finally, I'm just going in with some highlighter, but I don't use highlighter on my cheeks. I'm just going to be taking some on my finger and just going down the bridge of my nose because I'm not much of a highlighter girly. I like more of a soft matte look when I'm doing a full glam. And I also take whatever's on my finger and just put it into my brow bone to highlight that place. So that's really the only places I use highlighter. Finally, for lips, I'm going to be using this Colourpop lip pencil PFF3. It's my go-to shade for lip liners. I just follow the natural shape of my lip for the bottom lip. My upper lip, I usually start at the cupid's bow and overline there a little bit. I just press them together so it's a flat surface, then draw on my shape. So once I've drawn this top part, I just connect to the ends of my mouth. You don't want to overline there at all because then you just look like a freak. So just follow your natural shape as you go towards your mouth. Now, once you've done the like basic outline, I'm just gonna fill it in a little. Then I'm going in with this flesh tone lipstick from MAC called Honeylove. It's such a pretty shade. It's just like a nude. And I'm just pressing it onto my lips. Pressing my lips together, and then I go back in with my lip liner and kind of blend the two together. I'm taking a clear gloss. I mean, this is not a clear gloss anymore, but it used to be because I just use it for this lip combo all the time. Elf Lip Lacquer in the shade Bubble. Going. I'm just going to spray my face one last time to melt all the powders together. I don't have my setting spray with me at the moment, but I usually can get away without doing a proper setting spray. You can use the Rare Beauty Charlotte Tilbury or Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I really like those. Okay, this is the final look. I mean, what do you think? I think it looks so pretty, chic, effortless. I feel like this is a very achievable look. I think this look is so universally flattering and hopefully you learned something from this video. If you made it to the end of the video, I'm so happy. Thank you for watching and leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, I think I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning of the video. My name is Shahla. You can follow me on all of my social media. It's just Shahla Laihah everywhere because I'm the one and only. Duh. See you next time. Bye.